This is Jocko Podcast number 128 with Echo Charles and me, Jocko Willink. Good evening, Echo.
Good evening.
It's been a little bit since we've done Q&A, so we're going to roll into some Q&A and going to try and answer more questions than normal with some shorter answers. Got a lot of Twitter questions, which necessitates shorter questions and thereby, in some cases, shorter answers. I've got some more detailed answers or detailed questions stacked up for another Q&A. But sure. For today, we're just going to try and get through some of these. No guarantee on that, but let's rock and roll.
Cool. Jocko, do you believe in overtraining? Or is that an excuse people use? You have the CT Fletchers, triathletes, yourself, etc., who get after it daily. You also find other elite athletes who believe in rest days who are by no means slackers. What's your take?
You know what? Can you overtrain? Yes, you can.
Yeah.
You can definitely overtrain. I will say this, most people don't overtrain because you got to work pretty hard to overtrain.
Yeah.
And if you overtrain, you'll know it if you're paying attention to your performance because your performance will start to go down. That's what's happening. And I've said this before. I've seen it with fighters that were preparing for a fight and they'd be overtraining and you'd watch their performance. Someone that's normally crushing, let's say the fighter is normally crushing training partner A, and all of a sudden training partner A starts getting the better of the fighter, and you know, it's obvious the guy's overtrained. So take a couple days off, get some steak, and get back, get reset because you're overtrained. So yeah, you can overtrain for sure. Yeah. Now, what I don't believe in, well, it's hard to overtrain. I mean, these guys are working hard when they're overtraining, but a lot of people just, they do. You can use overtraining as an excuse. Yeah. What I do is I'm going to do something every day. I try and do something every day regardless. Like even if I feel like I'm like last night I got kind of beat up on the mat. So I know I'm pretty overtrained right now. But I'm also getting ready to go on a trip, so I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to I squatted today, and I'm still going to train hard tonight, and then I got a couple days where I'll be on the road. I might take one of those days and just like do more of a stretch, mobility type scenario work. I'll still get the blood flowing because I got to get the blood flowing. But, maybe just like 100 burpees and then a bunch of stretching. So I'll do a little recovery on the road. But yes, you can overtrain. It's hard to do it. If your performance is going down, you're overtraining. Eat some steak. Take a break. Eat some steak. There you go.
Bro, 100 burpees is kind of a lot. I think so.
100 burpees?
Yeah.
That's less than 10 minutes.
Put it this way. I did. Oh, then again, all the times I did 100 burpees was after workout.
Yeah.
So
then it feels a little different.
Yeah.
If you just go do 100 burpees. It's
100 burpees. Yeah. Okay. So overtraining though is like there's two or maybe even more different kinds of quote unquote overtraining. So there's like a for real, like I don't know, I'm gonna misuse the term, a clinical version of overtraining, which is like official, like your blood, you can recognize it in your blood and like certain things and certain whatever, and there's all these symptoms. It's a thing. It's an actual thing. Like you don't sleep, and it's like your body essentially goes into this like negative kind of feedback or positive feedback loop where it's like, but you're overtrained and it takes like a while to get out of it. Like a while, you got to go through this process, and then there's also like a condition like rhabdo something.
Yeah, rhabdo. That's a serious situation.
Yeah,
too.
That's essentially overtraining.
Yes, that's acute overtraining quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually to get hit with the rhabdo.
Yeah. And then there's like this kind of gray area.
And you can get rhabdo, I think you get rhabdo in like certain muscle groups.
Oh, for real?
But anyways, rhabdo, yeah, that'll take you out.
I remember Cake Nuts we're rolling. Cake Nuts, he's the kind of guy who's like just kind of down for anything. Not this kind of like fire plug type guy because he's super mellow, but he's just down for anything. Like the kind where if you're going to go do something kind of weird, he'll always sort of just be there. He always kind of says yes. So anyway, we're training and he, when someone asks you to roll and you're done, you're like, oh no, done, maybe next time, you know?
Not Cake Nuts.
No, he was like, okay, does, and you could tell he was like tired. He's like, okay, and then we're all done already, and then how certain guys come in late or whatever, maybe 1-2 guys, and another guy asked him to roll, and we're like, dang, Cake Nuts still rolling, and I think he even rolled before us too. and he was just rolling. He might have did some other PT or whatever. He's like, man, I'm pretty tired right now. And then another guy asked him, "Oh, let's roll," and he's like, "Okay," and we're just laughing like it was kind of like a joke. Plus, he's a white belt. Yeah,
which means all these rolls are not like relaxed scenarios. They're actual level 9 death battles.
Yeah, he's going for it. Yeah, he's a purple belt now, by the way.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, but yeah, at the time I think he was white belt, and so he goes and he's like, "Man, I'm tired. I'm messed up." And I was like, "Yeah, man, I dig it. You rolled a lot," and come to find out he had rhabdo.
Yeah.
But anyway, and then there's a gray area overtraining, where you're training a lot, maybe your testosterone will be down from training a lot, and your nutrition may or may not be all that kind of thing. So your performance does go down. You feel a little bit more tired going into training. If you're lifting or whatever, you can't lift as heavy and all this stuff. That's like you're not overtrained though. You just, how you say, just eat a steak, and a day, 2 days later, boom, you're kind of back in the game, kind of thing. But I don't think that's a technically overtrained. Maybe you're not recovering day to day as much or something like this, but nonetheless, but all true things, all real things. Hey, your body's this machine, man. If with all these different systems, if the systems ain't working right, you may not get, the performance that you want.